Hello, book lovers. Welcome back to another video. What's the most comforting memory you have of your mother? For many of us, it's the taste and smell of the food she made for us. But what happens when those memories are all that's left? Today, we're exploring Umma's Table by Hong Yeon-sik, a deeply moving graphic novel that blends family, love, grief, and the complicated relationships we have with our parents. This is a book that will stay with you long after you turn the last page. Hold on, my cat wants out the room. Do you want out? Sorry about that. Okay, so as I was saying, so today's book is Omma's Table by Hong Yeon-sik. Sorry. Okay, Hong Yeon-sik, translated by Janet Hong. And so this was published back in 2020. And of course, Hong is a celebrated Korean comic and manhwa artist. So I've already reviewed his first graphic novel that was translated into English. That novel is called Uncomfortably Happily. And that's a graphic, sort of graphic novel memoir. And that book, Uncomfortably Happy, that tells the story of Hong and his wife, who's also a cartoonist. When they were a young married couple, they decided to move to the countryside to escape the hectic pace of life in the big city. So they left Seoul and went to the countryside. And that book explores the sort of details their happiness and their difficulties that they experienced in transitioning from the city life to the country, the slower paced country life. And so this book is it's kind of a sequel. It is sort of a continuation of that story, but not exactly. I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, so Alma's Table. It was originally published in Korea in 2015 by the Urinabi Publishing Company. The English translation was published in 2020, again published by Drawn and Quarterly. So Drawn and Quarterly is a very successful Canadian publishing company that has a very long track record of publishing sort of celebrated graphic novels. And the translator, again, is Janet Hong. And of course, if you've watched some of the reviews on the channel, you might recognize Janet Hong from lots of the other fantastic translations that she's done. So, for example, Bad Friends by Ann Ko, or Grass by Gumsuk Gendry Kim, and many, many more. And I'm happy to report that Omma's Table is a fantastic piece of work that talks about challenging experiences that most of us will encounter at some point in our lives. And ultimately, it's a very life-affirming story about facing hardship and the painful realization of just how short life really is. So in Hong's previous memoir, he was newly married and moving to the countryside. So he's at a slightly different stage of life in this latest volume. So before I go on, we should probably know that this book it's only sort of semi-autobiographical. Uncomfortably Happily was a genuine memoir. But this book, the name of the narrator is Madang. And like the previous book, we have a young married couple, both of whom are illustrators. This time they have a 6-month-old son. And at the beginning of the house, so again, they are moving house again. This time they're moving to the outskirts of Seoul. So again, where land is a bit cheaper. And like in Uncomfortably Happy, Alma's Table is concerned with showing the small events that comprise a life, the small daily occurrences that build up and eventually fill a life. And the first section is just about living in the countryside. So coping with the mice, looking after the garden, meeting the neighbors, and just these little sort of daily occurrences, which just, the tapestry of life is woven from, almost without us really kind of noticing it happening. And then another strand is their concern for their son. So obviously their son is very tender age, and they're worried about how best to raise him. And so there's just something extremely compelling and moving and rich about this accumulation of small events and details to just give you a sense of the rhythm of a life being led. But of course, like I sort of hinted at the beginning, there are some darker and more troubling issues on the horizon. So what struggles does Madang have to deal with? So the main focus of the book becomes Madang's difficult and fraught relationship with his parents. His parents are not well off. They both have health problems. They're living in poverty in a in a basement apartment. So if you think of the basement apartment that was made famous by the film Parasite, his parents are living in this similar kind of location. And we learn that he has a very deep and profound love for his mother. And at the same time, he has a very deep sense of resentment for his father, who he blames for his mother's ill health and suffering in general. And the book does a very good job of describing what this experience is of having these two differing relationships with your parents. And it's obviously, of course, this is one of the most challenging experiences that many people have, is the relationship that you have with your parents and the realization that your parents will one day die, that one day they will be gone. And this is a very painful thing to deal with. Supporting sick parents is another experience that many of us aren't ready for when we have to start doing it. It's often sort of thrust upon you without knowing that it's going to happen, or being prepared for it. And there's some, truly moving sequences where we see Madang looking after his parents, his mother in particular, and then the accompanying feelings of guilt and shame and anger that well up in response to these experiences. And then one of the other significant elements in the book is food. And the relationship between food and memory. So why is food so important to Madang? The book is called Umma's Table. And Umma is just the Korean word for mum or mom or mummy. And it's in many ways just a tribute to the food that his mother prepared for him and his brother when they were children. And again, I think this is something that many of us can relate to. The smell of food being prepared by your mother when you're a child. And there are moments in the book when he reflects and remembers all the times that his mother made food for him, even in the most difficult circumstances. And these memories and experiences are filled with joy. The way that they're illustrated, conveys the warmth and love, and then the sadness at the realization that this won't happen again. And that joy and sorrow are feelings which many will recognize or will come to experience. And I think Hong is a master at portraying these fundamental human experiences. So should you read Omma's Table? So if you enjoy books that are deeply emotional and beautifully illustrated and painfully honest, then Omma's Table is for you. If you love graphic novels that explore real life issues, if you've experienced taking care of aging parents, if you enjoy books like Alison Bechdel's Fun Home or Marjane Satrapi's Persepolis, or if you just want a moving, introspective read that stays with you, then you should certainly pick up Omma's Table. If perhaps that you think it sounds too heavy, you don't want to engage with themes of loss and grief, then maybe skip this one for the time being. But if you are looking for something poignant and unforgettable, then I recommend picking up Omma's Table. So have you read Omma's Table or any other Korean graphic novels? What books have made you reflect on family and memory? So please leave a comment and like the video and subscribe for more book reviews and deep dives, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video which I will record momentarily.